Hello again, and before I start this commentary, I just want to make a statement for future commentaries. Today I'm going to talk about a person, in the future I'm going to talk about a person, but just know that I do not like talking about people. I like talking about ideas, but it comes to a certain point where there's one person that everyone ignores and doesn't talk about, even though they are doing damage to themselves, their content, their audience, society. And when other people don't notice, that is usually the sign as a content creator to make the content about them, especially because you're the one noticing. And in doing so, I must start with who this video is about, because you name them, you name who you're talking about. You don't play that Steve Shive shit of I'm going to talk about people with no names attached because I do not want targeted harassment or whatever the lame excuse is. So the name in question, the person, is David Pakman.
Mr. David Pakman himself, that we gotta talk about impeachment of Donald Trump.
Or whatever the fuck he's on normally. That isn't shit that he gets anywhere near involved with people like Sargon of Akkad or Tim Pool, people that he used to talk to a lot more on streams, and one who he still talks to. And my issue is that no one is really paying attention to David Pakman, and that is it. I have no further points. I'm not going to go on like I normally do when it comes to or when it comes to ideas, because when it comes to David Pakman, he's just a progressive. He's just a shill. He's just a fucking corporatist neoliberal. Or not neoliberal. He's a corporatist progressive in that he wants to be a full-blown, I'm at the desk of a major news station journalist. And, there is a commentary coming about journalists and why we should shame them and why we should make them a minority that are totally legally allowed to be harassed, because they are the scum of the earth. And the fact that David Pakman, who is smarter than he sounds, is just playing their games and not bringing anything new to the table, not pontificating properly on, what the media is doing kind of issues. That is the core problem with David Pakman. David Pakman is someone who is just playing the game, and it's gross, it's disgusting. I don't like it specifically, and what makes it worse is that there's only one content creator besides me today, right now, talking about David Pakman, and it's the Hard Bastard. Now, there is a little bit of a bias when it comes to Hard Bastard's opinion on David Pakman, but it has nothing to do with what started it. Hard Bastard, like me, just watched David Pakman and said, this guy is the guy that everyone's championing as a sane leftist. What, are you fucking kidding me? He's just talking about what everyone else on the news is talking about. What is so special about him? What makes him different? Fuck all, nothing, nada, zilch, zippo. And bubkiss, just because. The nose knows. And, God, it's like, Hard Bastard has a big following for someone on YouTube right now, current year. And yet, because he does not post his videos online on YouTube because of the just unfair fucking censorship he's gotten from these major media companies who, if you're in the dialogue the way the media is, you're fair use. I don't give a shit. You don't own anything except maybe your likeness and your words. But you're talking about the news, and that already means that your words might not be totally your own as far as whatever the subject is. Mm-hmm. But in the same breath, the corporation that controls you might also be dictating what you're talking about. So, yeah, a whole bunch of muddy waters. And we're already getting slightly off track. But Hard Bastard is just a YouTuber that covers the news and how they lie and how it operates in the same way that the Jehovah's Witnesses operate in. So like a cult. And because they operate like a cult, they have a certain set of values that they adhere to. And yet, David Pakman is never going to be one of these people, because the institution will blow up before he ever gets the opportunity to sit down with Jeff Zucker or fucking the CEO of New York Times or the Washington Post or anything like that. And yet, David Pakman also is on YouTube and is a YouTuber and gets the same kind of shit that we do with no special privileges, which is strange to me, because he talks the same points that they do and should technically be getting the same kind of privileges that the Young Turks gets. So that just goes to show that he's a nobody in their eyes. And that's, again, not cool. But it's not cool that David Pakman just parrots their shit and thinks that he's some kind of fucking intellectual. He is not. I'm not an intellectual. I don't like intellectuals. I think they're bad for society. I think their big brain egghead asses are just fucking shit up. But, you know, David Pakman just walks this fine line between one of them and one of us. And sometimes you have to side with him because he's getting fucked over just like we are. And then there are other times where you're just like, dude, what the fuck are you saying? What is coming out of your mouth? Why are you just parroting? There's nothing original about you. Your content is shit and you're shit. But Hard Bastard did try to get David on a debate, I believe, on the blood sports. I don't know if it was the Tonka Saw or the Andy Worski. It was definitely not Ralph, because he was still in jail, I think. And they offered $12,000 for David Pakman to show up, to give to a charity of his choosing. And he didn't fucking take it. Like, is he the world's worst Jew ever? I think probably. And not even because he's a fucking progressive. It's just because of that. And, yeah, you know, in conclusion, David Pakman is just trash. And, you know, the reason I might just be making this very quick commentary is because I just want more people talking about it. But, you know, if you've ever watched his video, if you ever hear him talk about his audience when he goes, well, someone in my audience was like, but David, you know, we gotta impeach Donald Trump and then kill his entire family. And then he gives, like, no pushback to these crazy people, these worse progressives than him, who are, like, just fucking going nuts. You should be paying attention, and especially to people like Tim Pool, who claims that he's sane, while David Pakman's like, what makes you a leftist anymore? I'm trying to find the real meat and potatoes here of what makes you a leftist. And it's like, Tim, that's where this guy is now, you know? David Pakman is a fucking crazy person because he's surrounding himself with crazy people all day, every day. They're telling him what to say, what to do, how to think, how to be, how to act. He is not his own person. He is a puppet walking among us. And, you know, my channel features a puppet named Elder Rice, who will soon to be walking among us. He's still in vacationing somewhere. He fucking checks in once a month, is like, oh, we getting money? And I'm like, dude, fuck you. And, but yeah, he wants to make videos of his own that are more of his own thing. He wants to do them well researched. He wants to put me to work and make sure they're all good and well, so that when he goes on camera, it's not me, just like me right now, just fucking blabbing and fucking up everywhere. And yet, David Pakman, you know, has all this money, has all this Patreon shit, has all this production value, and yet he's saying nothing. There's no substance. There's just style and flash. And he's not even that flashy or stylistic. It's just fucking newsroom shit. It is a green screened background with a microphone in front of your face like you're on radio. Like, bro, if you're actually trying to get on the news, then maybe try harder. Maybe try harder. Maybe get somebody to, like, actually just paint you a daily background, and then just get, like, a framed green, like a green screen fucking, God, I can't remember the name. It's just like a painting of a green screen that has no frame, whatever that part is. Oh, the canvas, sorry. Yeah, just get a canvas green screen, So that way you could put in your infographics there, and then maybe you can get a bordered background that you could cut to so that you don't get copyright struck on your videos. Or even better, do that plus a watermark so they really can't fuck with you. And yet David Pakman does none of this. He is probably the laziest high-budget content creator on YouTube. And that's saying something because Doug Walker has just dropped like the world's worst fucking review because it was a musical review of a musical movie that of the Pink Floyd's The Wall, by the way. And like most people who hated it said, where's the review? And the people who paid attention were like, the review is buried in this piece of shit fucking musical. And yet that is somehow better than fucking David Pakman's boring, stale, trite-ass content. It's fucking embarrassing. Again, I've been saying that so much ever since I watched Letterkenny and that coach start fucking kicking trash cans and going, it's fucking embarrassing! But David Pakman, you are fucking embarrassing. You are not going to amount to much once you try to just get on the news. And if you fuck with content creators at all, then tread lightly because they will finally be aware of your garbage.